All right, the Indiana Fever take on the Las Vegas Aces tomorrow. Let's get straight into it. Fever versus Aces predictions and the film breakdown. Now, listen, as promised, you guys hit 1K likes yesterday. So let's break this down with some prediction. Let's go over some defensive schemes we could throw at the Aces. Becky Hammond said, "We ain't meet the real Aces." She was referring to the Indiana Fever. She said the Fever didn't meet the real Aces. And the last time I checked, Lexi Ho and Michaela Timpson is still on this team. Lexi led the charge and Michaela Timpson led the charge and clamping the Aces in the second half to win this game, while Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard clamped Asia for most of this game. So let's talk about this as well. Let's highlight the last matchup versus the Aces. Mostly, how can we slow them down enough to win the series, And then let's talk about the good news is that the Fever plays better with their backs against the wall. Okay, we know this already. So starting the series out on the road is not the worst. Plus, it gives us a chance to steal one on the road as well before going home to potentially close it out in 4. Y'all know what I say: right hand, left hand, Def Jam, best man, Fever in 4. Anyways, let's talk about the bad news. Okay, the bad news is from last game to today's date, the Fever are down 2 players who played a key role in helping to slow down the Aces and keep the offensive firepower going. Missing Ari McDonald, missing Sophie Cunningham. Then let's talk about this game. Asia Wilson went 7 for 17. And out of those 10 misses from Asia Wilson, 7 of those 4 shots were on Aaliyah Boston, forcing those misses. So shout out to Aaliyah Boston with some honorable mentions from Natasha Howard and Lexi Ho. Moral of the story is if Aaliyah Boston comes out with that same defensive energy on Asia Wilson, we can sustain any other player. I'm assuming Lexi is going to slow Jackie Young down already. I'm not even worried about her, okay? Let's talk about another thing. Aaliyah Boston with Natasha Howard on the help side, which you will see me go over a lot in this film breakdown. We're going to be covering that as well. Let's see if that's sustainable enough to slow Asia down. We saw it in this film. We got to let Nalissa Smith and Kirsten Bell beat us, and we live with the results. Similar to how we did with Naz Hillman in the prior round, is only less of a threat now, because Naz Hillman just won 6th Man of the Year, and we lived with leaving her wide open, late recoveries. Now let's talk about some keys from your boy Venom to the Indiana Fever series. Okay, now listen. Key number 1, I want them to box out. You have to, okay? Box out. I can't have Nalissa Smith giving the Aces extended possessions. That's going to hurt us badly, especially when she's kicking out possibly to Asia, a 3-point shooter, who knows. Another key from Venom is help side defense from Natasha Howard and Lexi, which you will see me cover in this film breakdown as well. It's spurts, of course, not too much. And Aaliyah's guarding Asia in the post. That's probably the only time I would want help side defense. Then the last key is effort. Control what we can control, and that is effort. No falling asleep on screens. Be in constant movement, whether you're face guarding or trying to recover. Make sure you're showing effort. Do not be lackadaisical. You get beat on the screen, fight back to get into play. It's a ball on the floor. Go for the 50-50 ball. You want to get to the finals, you got to have effort. This is the playoffs all come down to luck and preparation. So when preparation meets luck, you kind of walk away with a championship. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into the film. Everybody lock in. So like I said, there's so much I enjoyed about this game, but let's talk about this play. I enjoyed so much about this play from Kelsey sliding her feet, guarding one-on-one, forcing a kick out to Asia, who Aaliyah gets a stop on, while Natasha Howard is fighting with effort to box out Nalissa Smith to secure this possession. Pay attention. Kelsey Mitchell staying in front of Jackie Young. Jackie tries to go up. She realizes nothing is there. Kelsey Mitchell is showing hands. She slid her feet. She's in position to get a block. Jackie bails out, finds Asia Wilson. Aaliyah gets up. Now Aaliyah forces a miss on Asia Wilson, and you see Natasha Howard fighting with Nalissa Smith the whole time to get the rebound. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to rewind the clip, just pay attention to Natasha Howard one more time. As soon as the shot goes up, what is she doing? She looks right at Nalissa Smith. Before she even looks at the rim, she looks at Nalissa Smith. Why? Because she knows, same way with Lexi Ho, Nalissa Smith can crash the glass, and that's one thing she's good at is rebounding. Natasha puts a body on her, and even that's not enough to fully secure the rebound. Now let's move on to the next play, okay? I want to talk about, as far as Aaliyah Boston's defense goes, I think we'll be fine, but I'm hoping Stephanie White funnels Asia to Natasha for the help side defense. Kind of similar to what we did with Bree Jones, but with less aggressiveness and in spurts. Like right here, I would have liked Aaliyah to get up and deny Asia going right, to not only force her going to her offhand, but Natasha slow her down on the strong side, help side. You know what I'm saying? So basically what I'm saying is Aaliyah Boston's guarding Asia, right? Because I know I be going fast sometimes, and a lot of people don't know you can slow it down on YouTube. But look, Aaliyah I want her right here to force Asia to not go right, but to force her to her left side because Nalissa Smith is diving in. When Nalissa dives in, she claws the lane. This is what Nalissa Smith hurt us with. We got to use what she used to hurt us to hurt the aces now. The same way Asia's right here. Right here, you got Asia Wilson with only one teammate on this side. This is good for Asia because this is the side with least defenders on. Nalissa Smith makes a mistake, and instead of staying spaced out over here to the right wing, you know, a little bit on the top of the key, she dives in. Now diving in, she's clogging Asia Wilson's driving lane, which helps the Indiana Fever. Now I just want Aaliyah Boston to recognize this as well and kind of take away the right side and force Asia to go down here, so where she's sandwiched in a triangle between Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston. But Asia Wilson is smart. She knows Nalissa Smith dove, so she's going to take the right side. And now she got the spacing right where she wants it now. Now she can see all 5 Fever defenders. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on, though. We all know Asia isn't comfortable taking 3-point shots, and Aaliyah Boston was making her settle. This is something I loved as well. One screen, Aaliyah Boston is not even fighting to get aggressive contest because Asia will attack that closeout and settle for a mid-range shot. So you kind of live with her taking the threes. She's not a volume shooter from the 3-point line as well. She missed it. She didn't even go inside the cup and nothing, rattle out nothing. That was just front rim. We live with those, okay? Now let's talk about Aaliyah Boston sprinting back. She was locked in on Asia before all 4 of her teammates was up the floor to get a stop on Asia. Kick ahead pass from Dana Evans. Aaliyah Boston behind Asia still recovers. Get a good contest. Asia Wilson airballed, and she caught the ball and traveled right there. Good defense by Aaliyah Boston right there. If we get this Aaliyah Boston in at least 3 games, the Fever definitely take this in at least 4, you know. But let's move on. This is what I mean when I say Natasha Howard on the help side, Aaliyah forcing Asia to Natasha's side, and someone there to help the helper for the rebound, which is the most important part to secure possessions. Y'all know I say defense is meaningless without the rebound, and you got to get out in transition as well. So Aaliyah Boston kind of stunts, you know, hedges on with Jewel Lloyd and Sydney Colson, recovers. Natasha Howard helps the helper. Aaliyah Boston helps. Natasha helps the helper. And now right here, you need somebody to box out, which would be Kelsey, could be Sophie, on Nalissa Smith. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to give up offensive rebounds. But anyways, let's move on from that. Let's talk about this, okay? Natasha Howard in transition. Asia Wilson once again being trailed, but this time by Natasha Howard. And Natasha gets the stop. Great defense by Natasha Howard. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the the front court right now. I'm going to be honest. And then you got to think about Aaliyah Boston as well. Aaliyah Boston right here fighting through screens when the aces try to target her through Asia. Aaliyah's not going for it. One screen. Jewel Lloyd, Aaliyah Boston still there, recovers, get a nice contest. Asia Wilson misses. That's great defense by Aaliyah Boston. She literally put Asia Wilson in a Aaliyah Boston jail. You know, they say whole island, we got to make one for Aaliyah Boston. But anyways, Aaliyah once again got Asia Wilson traveling. How the referees missed this, I don't know. But are we really surprised? This is the aces we talking about. Look at this. Asia Wilson with the ball. She picked up her dribble, right? Her foot is planted. This right here is her pivot. Let's say even if this one was her pivot, she moves this foot and now she's moving this foot. Now, how is that not a travel? This referee is looking dead at them. And if I'm not mistaken, if you zoom in, it kind of looks like the referee is looking at Asia Wilson's foot as well. So she saw the travel, yet still didn't blow the whistle, which is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, still missing though. And let's talk about this. Asia Wilson with a grenade missing yet again on Aaliyah Boston. Right here, you got Lexi Hall playing great defense on Jackie Young. Michaela Timpson with a good stunt made Jackie pick up the ball. This is why I said KK and Lexi on the floor together is crucial. This is essential. You need to run this lineup, Stephanie White, in this series specifically, because this helps a lot, especially with Asia. Like, we got a lot of size out there, and we have injuries we're dealing with. So if KK doesn't get minutes in this series, that will be questionable. But Jackie kicks out to Asia. Aaliyah Boston slide on her feet. Asia steps back over Aaliyah, and they didn't even hit inside the cup. Back rim. Great defense by Aaliyah Boston. Great defense. Beautiful defense by Aaliyah Boston. Now let's move on. Let's talk about this, okay? Plays like this right here that's about to come up is what I talk about when I say what it comes down to helping the helper with Asia and living with Nalissa Smith threes. When you help the helper, for example, right here, Chelsea Gray with the pocket pass to Asia, right? Now, Asia would have took this shot if Natasha Howard didn't help off Nalissa Smith because Aaliyah was too busy helping with Chelsea Gray. And quite frankly, Aaliyah Boston, I don't think Aaliyah had to help too much over there. Like, look right here. I think Kelsey Mitchell could have recovered, but Aaliyah Boston is there anyways because this lane looks a little open, and Sophie can't help off this strong corner because, let me move my camera, you see Jackie Young right there wide open. You never help off the strong corner, especially when there's a shooter there. You know, now if it's Nalissa Smith, Kirsten Bell, maybe Megan, okay, cool. But you don't really help off the strong corner. Pocket pass to agent Natasha Howard helps. Now, you see Arie McDonald was going to stunt at Nalissa Smith to discourage Aja from throwing that pass because Arie was trying to help the helper as well. But Arie's like, I'm living with Nalissa Smith shooting before I'm living with Jewel Lloyd shooting. So she chose her poison, and it ends up working out for the Fever. And this is all the proof you need, because even though Nalissa Smith had the shot wide open, she looked at every other outcome before taking that shot. If you look at this freeze frame, why? If I'm an ace, like if I'm the coach, why is Nalissa Smith looking away? Because she struggles shooting the 3-ball. You're wide open, yet you're still looking for Jewel Lloyd or somebody to take the ball. Like, now you're forced to take an uncomfortable 3, and it shows your lack of confidence in your shot. Now, if that's all we need to see to know, okay, let's live with Nalissa Smith beating us at the 3-point line. If she beats us and we lose because of that, I'll live with that, because that's something that's, you know, that rarely happens. That's you played the best defense you could play. Now, Arie was not about to help off Jewel Lloyd, which is why she stunned it right there. But let's move on, okay? Another thing to look out for is how will Odyssey Sims... how well Odyssey Sims defended when she was hunted on a cross match. This is, Arie... I'm messing up right now. How well did Arie McDonald guard Aja Wilson versus Odyssey Sims? Because I think the Aces will attack Odyssey Sims. Yeah, I think Odyssey Sims is going to be targeted this series. I don't know why Smesco didn't target Odyssey Sims last series, but I'm not complaining. Like I said since the beginning, before the series even started, if you can't target Odyssey Sims, if you don't know to target Odyssey Sims, I won't tell you to. Go ahead, play your game, Smesco. I think the Aces, on the other hand, Becky Hammond being a great coach, nothing to take away from Smesco, I think Becky Hammond will target Odyssey Sims. But look at this right here, okay?
Howard has 10.7 rebounds.
Aja Wilson tries to take it on Odyssey Sims. What happens here? Odyssey picks her pocket. Arie McDonald. Oh my God, I miss Arie McDonald so much. Her defense, her offense, everything about Arie McDonald, like, oh my God, we got so many players, I can't even name them off the top of my head. I'm like, Arie, Odyssey, it's just driving me nuts at this point. But anyways, once again, you see Odyssey, and you see Arie McDonald, you see, I can't even get it right. You see Arie in Aja Wilson's pockets, and she got the heart of a lion. Arie is someone the Fever can't afford to lose going into the 2026 season, okay?
Well, this heater from Sophie
Picking her pockets.
So
like, you don't get this from anybody else, quite frankly. I'm gonna be honest, you know? And then you got Arie McDonald, once again, her off-ball defense, her on-ball defense, no matter what you want to name it, Arie McDonald, her defense is insane. Now, I hope we can continue to, you know, play with Arie McDonald in the next season, but I highly doubt we get this from Odyssey Sims in the next round. Now, would I love to be surprised? Absolutely. But look at this right here. Arie McDonald off-ball defense, forcing Jewel Lloyd to not catch the ball, forcing Aja Wilson turnover, like just causing disruptions, causing indecisiveness. Like, you know, Jewel Lloyd probably didn't even expect the pass because of how much of Arie McDonald picked Aja Wilson's pockets already, etc., etc. So that's basically what I'm trying to refer to, you know. Anyways, let's talk about this, okay? In this series, Stephanie White has to go bigger, in my opinion. You're going to pay the consequences from Jackie Young if you start small this series, because you're going to put Odyssey Sims on Chelsea Gray. Then that means you're going to put Kelsey Mitchell on Jackie. Kelsey Mitchell's undersized, and you wouldn't want her exerting all that energy on guarding the Aces' second best player, which puts Lexi on Kirsten Bell, Natasha Howard on Alyssa Smith, and Aaliyah Boston on Aja. Or maybe they switch it and Lexi Hull is on Alyssa Smith and Natasha's on Kirsten Bell, but it doesn't matter. Jackie Young will be guarded by a guard, and either way it's going to be a lose-lose, because if Odyssey's guarding Jackie Young, that means she's going to be targeted easily. And if Kelsey's guarding Jackie Young, Kelsey's going to play good defense on Jackie, but that means Kelsey's going to have to exert more of her energy. And her being the main reason why we're in the next round, her scoring output, like, we need Kelsey Mitchell to preserve as much energy as possible, especially for clutch time. Now let's talk about this as well. I think right here is where you saw aerial powers, okay? For the obvious reasons, and you not only go up in size, but you go up in defense and rebounding. So it's only positives when you're thinking about starting Odyssey Sims. I would say start KK as well, but Odyssey Sims is clearly more seasoned. She got more IQ as of right now, you know. So I would start Odyssey Sims going against the I would start aerial powers starting against the Aces A unit. Once again, I have to be honest. Arie was playing some good defense in this game. I don't know if we can get that from Sims, but like I said, one can only hope, okay? And I think the Fever steals game 1 on the road. I'm going to be honest and close out both games at home. I don't think the Fever lose any games at home. I do think they steal game 1. If they don't steal game 1, game 2 guaranteed. They're not losing 2 in a row. It's not happening. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you enjoyed this film breakdown, hit the like button, hit the sub button. Let's see if we could get 1K once again. Live watch party tomorrow. I hope you all there. I hope to see all of you guys there. And listen, man, Go Fever championship is on the way. I called it before the playoffs started. I'm still calling it now. Fever and Foe, baby.